Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems and welcome back to MX Bikes, where today we're going to be riding the track map for round 12 of Monster Energy Supercross, the Seattle track map of the upcoming 12th round of the season this weekend in Seattle. Fun track this week. It's pretty much a complete replica of what the 2020 Seattle Supercross was going to be way back before the COVID pandemic canceled the 2022, like kind of the end of the 2022 season. Of course, they did do the Salt Lake City 7, but we never did get to go to Seattle that year, and we haven't been to Seattle since 2019, which is very similar to Detroit, which we raced a couple weeks back as well. So another place that we haven't been to for a couple years, going to be good to go back. And yeah, this track we have not seen raced in real life. We have seen raced twice now in Sim, because obviously as it was a remake from 2020, they raced it last night in MX Simulator, and they raced it 2 years ago in MX Simulator. So we've kind of already seen how this track shapes up a little bit, see how it races, I guess, to a degree. A couple tricky rhythm sections and other things like that. But yeah, I'll get into that in a moment. First off, want to give a big shout out to the Moto X Collective, TFC over there on the Moto X Collective team building this track. I've been told many times by G-Dub MX, who is also part of the Moto X Collective, that he is not part of the track building, at least not for this particular series of tracks that TFC builds for each round. Didn't make Indy, I think, right? He didn't make Indy last week. I'm not sure why, but back this week with Seattle. And yeah, like I said, very interesting track map. Shout out to TFC for putting this track together. It seems like these guys are pretty good at like banging these out really quickly. Like they just lay the track map down from Monster Energy Supercross onto, a stadium floor. Then they throw down a couple of the Photoshop gradients that they need in grayscale, and bam, they have a racetrack. I don't think they put a whole lot of extra effort into making lines flow a certain way or whatever. They just have a standard set of jumps that they use, very similar to what a lot of track creators in MX Simulator used to do over the years. And then, yeah, before you know it, they have a racetrack. Supercross tracks are always so kind of cookie cutter these days anyways, so it's not all that difficult to have a standard set of like your 3-foot singles, 5-foot singles, tabletops, finish line jumps, and Supercross triples, and then you just kind of build a set of whoops every week. So I'd have to imagine that's what they do. Maybe you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, TFC or G-Dub or somebody else who is part of putting these tracks together from the Moto X Collective. If you jump down in the comment section, let me know kind of how you build it. I'm assuming I'm right, but I'm probably wrong as per usual. But yeah, so this track, like I said, pretty much exact same layout from 2 years ago that we would have had. So it was raced in Sim 2 years ago, like I said. The only real difference that I've seen is as you come down the start straightaway after the finish line jump and kind of hook a right and you do a little double into the corner, that 2 years ago was supposed to be a triple. So on the Sim track 2 years ago, if you played the 2020 version of the MX Simulator track, that will show up as a triple jump instead of a double jump. I'm not sure what the change was. It maybe just for better flow. Maybe they saw the Sim race and realized that triple jump was a little bit weird, because this does flow better. You come down the start straightaway, get on the brakes hard, and then pop this little double into the corner. It is better, but I didn't really make it look better right there. So yeah, maybe that's just a little subtle change to make things a little bit flowier. As you come out of this corner, though, this is probably going to be the trickiest section on the track. I'm not sure if they will be able to triple up onto this table or not, but that's definitely going to be like kind of the key catalyst if they're able to do that triple onto the tabletop, because it sets up the rest of the rhythm lane very well to jump off and then triple single, or maybe even triple quad like they were doing in MX Simulator last night. This section's pretty standard as well. Come out of this corner, triple up onto the table, jump off, I should say, not triple off, and then triple through the rest of the rhythm section. I'm riding pretty bad, but that's kind of what you're going to get when I'm trying to talk and ride at the same time, trying to give you guys some insight on the racetrack. And then I'll maybe put my head down here at the end of the video and do a couple more hot laps. I have been able to put down a 102 or 103 or something like that, but that was with a couple of mistakes as well. So I think my ideal lap time is actually in the high 50s somewhere. I don't really know what is a good lap on this track. I'm sure all the MX bike stands will come in here and tell me, bro, you're not even doing a 49, you're trash at this game. But yeah, showing off this track, so we're not trying to necessarily super hot lap it, and I'm not necessarily the greatest at the game anyway. But it does seem like it's going to be a pretty decent racetrack. I feel like it's going to be pretty one-lined after the finish line jumping through this section right here. But if they can, make this section work right here to set up multiple options, I feel like this is going to be a great racing section as well, because you're going to have some guys that will get it, some guys that might not get it, right into a bull corner. That'll obviously be tricky. this rhythm section will also be tricky, no question about it as well. I think as the track breaks down throughout the day, especially if it rains, which we'll talk about that in a second, but if it just breaks down on a normal scale from what we normally see in Seattle, I have a feeling that a lot of these rhythm lines will just become kind of survival, you know, just doubling here, getting the occasional pop triple every now and again. So as much as what we're looking at right now looks like it's going to be a fluid racetrack and kind of have some good fast lines on it, the reality is as it breaks down, it's going to be very difficult to bust out some of those triple quad sequences and other things like that. But yeah, rain definitely looks like it's going to be on the forecast this weekend here in Seattle. I will be going to the Seattle Supercross, so if you're going to be up there in the PN Dub this weekend and you would like to say, hey, just let me know. I'm always walking around, you know, in between sessions, hanging out in the pits and stuff like that. And I'll be at the PulpMX live show at Carco Theater on Friday night. So if you're there as well, don't hesitate at all ever to come up and say hello to me, even if it looks like I'm busy. I'm glad to meet and greet everybody that's around hanging out at these races and having a good time in the sport. Always fun to catch up with people and see what's happening in the world of moto around the world as well. So yeah, feel free to come say hi. But yeah, we're going to have some rain this weekend. I don't know if it will be on race day necessarily or if it'll maybe hold off and we'll get a clean race day. Usually in Seattle, when it says it's going to rain, it's going to rain. Like, I just don't feel like I've ever seen it before where it's, you know, there's even a percentage chance of rain and it doesn't rain. Like Seattle, it's just kind of that climate. You know, always a little bit kind of gray and overcast and always seem to get a little bit of rain at some point. So I'd have to imagine on Saturday at some point we're going to get rain, whether it becomes before, you know, practice starts and maybe they just push practice back so they can clean up the track a little bit. Maybe it comes during the practice sessions. Maybe it comes during the night show. Who really knows? But expect to see at least a little bit of wetness this weekend in Seattle. So maybe that'll create a little bit different racing than we have seen all season long as well. Maybe we're going to have a couple guys be able to run up front that we haven't seen. Maybe we see another new winner this season, like Justin Barcia is still looking for his first win of 2022. Cooper Webb obviously might actually enjoy having a bit of a mud race, so he doesn't, I mean, it'll be tough, obviously. He's got that bone bruise and he's got a broken metacarpal in his hand, so it'll be a little bit tough in some situations to hold on to the bars, but maybe, just maybe, not taking a lot of heavy hits to his arm and hand area will be beneficial if they're having to like roll jumps or you know, only double certain things because of the rain and the mud and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch for sure. I feel like there's gonna be you know, a couple things that we'll take away from this race that we didn't see beforehand, and always nice. Like, it sucks, obviously, for Seattle fans to not have, like, a good, real racetrack if it ends up raining, but it always is a little bit nice for us traveling circus that gets to go to more of the races to have at least a mud race or at least a weird weather race of some kind mixed into the season, just because then there's a little bit more parity, a little bit something different that we don't see every week, especially now at this point of the season. We're starting to get to the point where, like, things are getting a little bit stale and repetitive, just like kind of the same football stadium tracks over and over again. Eli Tomac winning 4 in a row. Like, it just always seems to happen. And, you know, someone gets in a groove and pulls out a big championship lead, and here we are. So something to shake it up would be nice. Of course, the 250 West class is back in action this weekend in Seattle as well. So Christian Craig, Hunter Lawrence, Michael Moseman, you know, all those guys are going to be back giving it their all this weekend, and I'm sure it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Christian Craig rides kind of maybe a little bit more within himself and doesn't push the envelope so he doesn't end up on the ground and tossing away this clear championship that he has in his back pocket right now. But we'll see. It's definitely going to be good racing weekend. Excited to go up to Seattle and see a bunch of people up there and watch some good racing. So hopefully if you're there as well, you will be stoked by the racing action, be stoked to have racing back in the Pacific Northwest, because we've missed you guys a little bit, right? Seattle, it's been a couple years. Be fun to have some Supercross racing back up in the PN Dub. All right, I'm going to try to finish off this video with like one clean focus lap a little bit. I'm going to try to more focus on hitting my lines and less so on talking. So I might go a little bit quiet here as I cross the finish line jump next lap, but just want to try to put a good lap in and not think too much about it. Just try to hit my marks and maybe get under a 1 minute for you guys in this video so it's not a complete disaster. So coming across the start straight right here, I like going to this outside. I just feel like this on-off works a little bit better, setting you up for the Supercross triple than going inside table over single, but could just be me. Some people might have a different thought. Up and over the finish line jump. Want to land on the throttle in third gear, get on the brakes to then make this corner, swoop down off the berm. Wasn't the cleanest run, but we'll manage. On the brakes into this corner, double in, and then not too quick on the throttle to bust this triple out, just get enough traction. Swing it through this first corner, triple up onto the table, off, triple again, and I'm going to go a little bit long, so I'm going to check up and double instead, but triple single would probably be the line I would go for right there. Out of this corner, you're going to triple up onto the table, triple off, carry some momentum to seat bounce this, triple again, and triple again into the corner. Outside, cutting down off the berm into third gear, getting on top of those whoops, not making too many adjustments so you don't get kicked sideways or anything like that. Double into this corner, carry some speed back across the start straight into this berm. Step up on, off again, get a nice line right through there. Just a little flick scrub off the triple, nothing crazy, don't want to blow this last corner. Hard on the brakes and up over the finish line jump. There we go, 57.231. Final lap around here. Showing you guys the Seattle track for this weekend's round 12 of Monster Energy Supercross. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, be sure to download the link in the description below. Support the people that make this game as awesome as it is. And thanks for tuning in to another video here on Start Your Systems. We'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.